Let me start by saying that I'm not a front lever expert. My best hold is 9 seconds, and I primarily do weighted calisthenics. But I do feel like I have some unique advice to offer you, since the way that I got this lift was through unconventional means. Whether you wish to copy me or not is up for you to decide. Nonetheless, I'm sharing this information. So my first piece of advice for anyone wanting to master calisthenics or the front lever is to get lean as fuck. The point is, if you're carrying extra body fat, you're not maximizing your leverages. On a front lever, it makes all the difference. That's why those who excel at these skill-based moves are very lightweight, bodyweight-wise, smaller legs as well, and also shorter in height. All these things maximize your leverages and overall weight. So you can't control all the factors like your height. Legs, you can manage that somewhat, but your body weight, your body fat percentage, take care of that first. 12 to 15% body fat is a very good range, but if you want to go even lower than that, I'm going to say your front lever performance is going to skyrocket even more. In fact, a lot of you guys already have the strength to do this lift. It's just that you're too heavy. So get lean. That's number one, okay? Now, in terms of training for the skill itself, in my experience, it came down to two primary movements, okay? Again, this will work for me. Doing an enormous amount of front pulls and negatives, okay? I didn't do a lot of tuck work. I didn't do a lot of the straddle stuff, okay? It was mainly those two exercises, and I did that for years, okay? Front pulls I've been doing my entire training career for the most part, because I used to think that that was a front lever back in the day. So to me, that was like the ultimate performance, right? So, you start off with the leg raises, with the bent legs, and you do leg raises straight, then you're touching the bar, then you're like, you know what, let me do some front pulls. And I find that if you get strong at those, you're already teaching yourself to be rigid. You're teaching yourself to stay tight in that locked position, right? But you're still getting a lot of movement in. So it makes it a lot easier, and you can get some momentum in there as well, right? But there's still the static strength component. And what guys don't understand about the front lever is that it really engages the back like crazy, okay? Actually, some would say that's more back than core, but that's a different topic altogether, right? So the thing is, front levers will build all that. It's extremely specific, and it should have automatic carryover provided that you get stronger at them, okay? So I would definitely up those. You can work up to doing reps of 10 to 20, and I find that if you can do them at the end of a workout, like you're already flying in terms of base strength. So to me, that's a fundamental move, at least in my experience, right? And then also the negatives. The thing is, a lot of guys can get in that position, right, of the front lever, but they can't hold it. They lose the posterior pelvic tilt, and then they start to collapse, right? And that's why I feel the negatives come into play. So basically, you elevate yourself to the point where you're completely straightened over the bar, slowly lower yourself back down. And for the variations, I'd recommend the straddle, in addition to doing off gymnastic rings, and then just the standard way of doing it, okay? Those three should have amazing carryover, and it's just like getting your first pull-ups, right? You get better than negatives, your performance skyrockets, okay? So for this, I feel that isometrics and negatives is where it's at. And the front pulls kind of facilitate that to a certain extent, but then the specific negatives make that even better, right? And then another special exercise that people never talk about, okay, but this is a secret, right, is to do a lot of weighted leg raises. You can do a bent leg and straight leg, but I'm going to say for specificity, straight leg, okay? And these are brutal as fuck. This will artificially make your legs much heavier, right? At the worst possible point, right at the tip. So now, you get strong at that. When you take off those ankle weights, you are flying. And I guarantee you, bro, it's going to be so much easier to master the front lever if you get strong at the weighted leg movements. Just like any calisthenics exercise for the most part. A lot of guys, they're taking the slow route when there's an alternative path. Weights. So I would highly recommend weighted leg raises, bro. That's going to have crazy fucking carryover. And the final thing that I'd recommend, again, it goes back to what I was talking about previously, is to get strong at weighted pull-ups and weighted chins. All the variations, guys. If you can rep out serious numbers on this, it's easier to learn any skill for the most part that involves the back. And the front lever, like I said before, it's a heavy back lift. People don't realize it, but it's hardcore. So if you get very strong at weighted pull-ups, it's going to be so much easier to learn the front lever. And that's what I see with a lot of guys who they transition into just standard skill work. They fly up faster than everybody else. Like for me, I already had the base strength and all the factors I've been talking about today. And it can be the same for you. Maybe you won't be the best of all time without the specific work. I get that. But you can at least achieve the front lever just by getting strong as a whole. And that's what I'm trying to preach here, guys. Get your weighted pull-up up, man. Try to get 3 plays for reps. Try to get your body weight for 1 repetition. Imagine how strong your back's going to be. You can handle anything at that point, man. You can handle fucking rings. You can do all the advanced moves that require strength. Because that's what it is. You're just this powerhouse that can override a lot of the skill factors, if you will. So that's my advice. Get a strong weighted pull-up. And the way that I manage to do this, right, is with concurrent periodization. So you have a volume day and intensity day, and you rotate the special exercises, okay? crazy way of getting strong. And not a lot of guys are talking about this in reference to weighted calisthenics. So I'll definitely be coming out with more content in regards to that. But in the meantime, all you got to know is that you should get a stronger way to pull up. And that's going to have amazing transference by itself, okay? With everything that I talked about previously. So those are really the main things. And that's how I got the front lever. It was that simple, guys. Like I said, I'm not an expert. There's probably other tutorials that you could watch that give you all the freaking breakdowns, and you can do that if you want. Nonetheless, this worked for me, and I think I'm one of the few guys on the internet who's giving this perspective. So I'm not saying this is the best way. I can't confirm that. I'm just another guy who managed to get this move, right? So take it or leave it. Hope it helps you out nonetheless. Give me feedback down below. If you got pro tips on those trying to master this exercise, let's see in the comment section. With that said, I'll talk to you all next time.